how to apply for an annuity. That's what you're looking to do? Hey, let's slow down there a little bit, Sparky. Stan the Annuity Man here, America's annuity agent. Before you jump to conclusions about buying an annuity, or maybe you're just trying to find out how the process works, which is good, let's look at even if you need an annuity, and we're going to go through those steps, so hang in there with me, and then I'm going to go through the steps of how to apply and what type of information the companies and carriers are going to want from you so that they can approve your application and you can get the annuity that you want. So hang in there with me. There's going to be a really neat punk rock music video. Not video, it's kind of a clip, 20 seconds. It'll show me. There'll be girls singing. It'll be fantastic. And it's going to happen right when I do this. All right, so how to apply for an annuity. First thing first, let's see if you even need an annuity, and you might not, but applying for an annuity is similar to, going to the bank and applying for a CD, going to a brokerage firm and opening an account there. You're gonna have to provide that information to the annuity carriers to see if the recommendation or the annuity that you're considering is appropriate and suitable for you. And the annuity industry is very conscious about that, and they do care about that. They're just not gonna take all the money and put it into annuity. They got to make sure that it's in your best interest, and that is a very, very good thing. But before we even do that, before we even get to that, let's talk about, do you need an annuity? There's a couple of things that I've come up with. They're very easy to understand that will filter out if you even need one, and if so, what type. So the first thing is the two questions. Number one, what do you want the money to contractually do? Keyword is contractual because these are contracts. The second question is, when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? Now, from those two answers, I'll then point you to what I've come up with called the P.I.L.L. It's not a pill you take, it's an acronym. P stands for principal protection, I stands for income for life, L stands for legacy, and the other L stands for long-term care. Legacy is leaving money to your beneficiary. So let's do it again. Principal protection, income for life, legacy, and long-term care. So your answer to the two questions, P.I.L.L, you looked at that. If you don't need to solve for one or more of those, you don't need an annuity. But let's say your answer was, I need lifetime income stream, I need it to start now. Well, that's under the P part, that's income for life, principal protection, income for life, legacy, long-term care, and you answered the two questions. So you're going to buy an immediate annuity, as an example. What you're going to do is you're going to get on the horn with my staff, and they're going to walk you through the application process and ask you questions that are typical. If you've ever opened a bank account or brokerage account, you're going to have to answer. You're going to have to give some financial information that's confidential. It's not us asking the information, it's the carriers asking the information. They want to make sure that you're not putting too much money into an annuity. And you say, really? They're doing it? Yes, they're doing that. There's guardrails in place so that agents don't put all of grandma's money into an annuity, which you don't want to happen, okay? And I'm happy that that's in place for the annuity industry. So you're going to have to provide that information. So that application is going to be filled out. You're going to sign it. Then we're going to overnight it to the carrier that you've chosen. They're going to review it. If it's a transfer from an IRA, it'll be a non-taxable event. Or if it's a transfer from an annuity, it'll be a 1035 transfer non-taxable event. Or if you're just writing a check, you'll write the check to the annuity carrier, not the agent, the annuity carrier. That check will go in with the application. Typically, it takes anywhere from 7 to 14 business days from start to finish to get you your policy. And so the good news about that is once you get your policy, there's a free look time period. And if you go to the NOLHGA.com, NOLHGA.com, you can look at the free look time period for your state, which means that the policy is in force, you have it in your hands, it's working, but you have a specific period of time that for any reason you can get your money back, and that's a good thing. So the annuity industry is a little bit archaic. They're kind of getting up to speed. But when you apply for an annuity, it depends on the carrier that you choose. Some have online apps and some have e-apps. Give you a story the other day. One of my clients called and said that they wanted to buy 2 different MYGAs, which are multi-year guarantee annuities, because they like the rate of the 5-year and they like the rate of the 7-year. I said, fine. But one of the carriers was what we call a wet ink application, so they're still using paper. So we had to take the information down over the phone and then overnight the paperwork to the client. They had to sign it, and then we put a prepaid overnight back to us to sign and then to the carrier. But the other carrier was e-app. So We went through the process, sent the secured and encrypted form to the client, they signed, and it was done. So it really, and of course they came back and said, well, why doesn't the other carrier have e-app? They will eventually. You know how it is. Companies just kind of fall in line as other companies are a little bit more progressive and aggressive with the technology. But depending on the carrier, it could be a wet app, real paper and you got to sign it, or it can be an e-app, which is an online application. Either way, that your information is confidential. Either way, the companies are not compiling information on you. Trust me on that one. I know you're saying, no, yeah, they are. No, they're not. They're really not. The reason that they ask the information on the application is to make sure that the annuity that you're considering and the money that you're looking to put into that specific type of annuity is appropriate and suitable for you. And if there's too much money being put into it, they'll spit the application back and deny it. Trust me on that one. In fact, the other day I had a client call up and say, hey, I have a referral. She's my sister. I need you to talk to her. She needs an immediate annuity. Okay, so I call the referral, his sister. She had $150,000 to her name, which is fine. That's a lot of money, right? Nod your head. Most people don't have that. But that's all she had. She rented an apartment. She wasn't working, but she wanted to buy a $150,000 immediate annuity for lifetime income. On surface, that makes total sense because she needed income in addition to the Social Security. But under the guidelines in the annuity world, they would not allow her to put all of that money into an immediate annuity because that's an irrevocable lifetime income stream. Makes total sense. But she was actually upset with me. She goes, I want to put all the money in there. I'm going to find someone to put it all in there. I said, well, then find them. But legally, they're not going to allow you to put, I'd say 50 up to 60%, but typically it's about 50% of your investable assets into annuities. Anything above and beyond that, they're going to really want to know a reason why. And most likely, they're not going to approve you putting all that money. They, the annuity companies, want to make sure you have enough liquid assets available in case of emergency and just, for living in life. So I like that. So when you apply for an annuity, my team will take care of everything from start to finish, whether it's a check with application, or if it's a transfer from your IRA to an IRA at the annuity company, or if it's a transfer from your 401k, whatever it is, we take care of it from start to finish, and then we'll keep you updated throughout the process depending on how long that is. Okay, so we talked about how to apply for an annuity, and I've actually done a podcast on that as well. You go to my site at stantheannuityman.com, and we go through about 20 minutes of how this all works. I've also done another video, how to choose an annuity, that coincides with this, how to apply for an annuity. You need to choose the right type. I'll tell you how to do that. And I also encourage you to get my books. Go to stantheannuityman.com for any type of quotes, or if you want to connect with us to have a full discussion of your specific situation, and we can help you design a customized plan that will fit exactly what you want to do contractually. Take care.